Let's talk about those deep sleepers. Mr. Nanko right here. I'm Dustin. We've redesigned our website. You're going to want to check that out. It's pretty sweet. Also, our draft guide is up on the site with our top 150 cheat sheet. We beefed all of that stuff up this year. It's free. Go on there, download it. We'll be updating it all preseason.
And speaking of drafts, if you're doing a live draft, go on to Fantasy Jocks. You can, you get the board, you get the player names, you take these little stickers off, you put them on the board.
We're doing a live snake draft.
I've done this a few times. It's so much better to do that way. It's so fun. You know, you get to go up. It's like you're announcing the pick.
It adds that extra element.
It does.
You can just pass the names around. You go through, pick who you want. It's pretty fun.
FantasyJocks.com.
Deep sleepers. We're starting with one of my favorite, Josh Ferguson with the Colts. One of my favorite things to do during this time of year is I just watch all sorts of highlight reels, just get re-excited about these college players. This guy is Dion Lewis 2.0. He just reminds me very much of that. All he has in front of him is an aging Frank Gore. If Gore does go down, I don't necessarily think he'll be an every down back, Ferguson, but I do think there's potential for him getting 10 plus touches right out of the gate. We'll see. Definitely keep an eye on during the preseason, but he's a guy that I will be targeting late in all of my drafts.
All right, the first guy I'm going to talk about, Sammy Coates of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, who's going to be the number 2 across from Antonio Brown? You know, Wheaton is there, but there's been a lot of hype on Coates. And if he does, even if he's not locked in as the number 2, he's still going to be on the field quite a bit this year. And locked in, if he moves up to that number 2 in that potent offense, it could be a great steal, especially if you're drafting early, you know, not real far away from the season. Take Coates late.
Another rookie running back, DeAndre Washington with Oakland. You know, Murray out there had a decent year, but a lot of the reports from the coaching staff kind of say otherwise. You know, maybe he's missing blocks or missing assignments. You know, they're just not really fully liking what they're seeing out on the field and in the film, the stuff that people that care more about fantasy might not necessarily see. And Washington has a legit chance, again, to carve a role right out of the gate, and I think Murray will have a decent leash, but I don't think it's necessarily his job. You know, Washington is good enough to threaten him for that position.
All right, next guy I'm talking about is a tight end, Eric Ebron of the Detroit Lions. Third-year tight end, you know, his 10th overall pick when he was drafted a few years ago. And Megatron's gone. I think him in the red zone is going to be featured quite a bit there. But I also see him as a chain mover. I think he's going to have a career year when it comes to catches and touchdowns this year.
Another rookie running back for you. And you got to consider rookie running backs. Obviously, every year there's always one or two that surprises us and takes over a job that we didn't think was necessarily going to happen. And that could happen in Denver this year with Devonta Booker. CJ Anderson has kind of been all over the place. You know, which CJ are we going to get? Booker is legit. I really like his highlight reel. This kid definitely can do some things out on the football field. Again, a legit chance to maybe take over that job even without an injury.
All right, let's keep the rookie running backs. That's what we're going to be talking about. Derrick Henry of the Titans. He was the second running back taken in this year's draft. Of course, Elliott was the first one taken. Henry is a solid back.
Good.
And when he was taken in the second round, I was like, ooh, DeMarco Murray's probably going to be a little upset after he got asked to be traded, and then they take Henry. And you know why they took Henry? Because he is a stud. If you watch his film in college, he was absolutely unbelievable. And while there's a lot of hype on Murray and saying how great he looks from the coaching staff, would you be shocked if he loses his job outright to him if Murray doesn't excel?
I'd be a little shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked. I think that could happen. I'm targeting Henry, especially in keeper and dynasty leagues.
There's a decent amount of rookie receivers this year that are going to get a little bit of hype, but our favorite one is Corey Coleman. I know he's on the Browns. I know he's probably going to have RG3 throwing him the ball. It's not all that exciting. But this guy had over 70 catches last year, but 20 of them were touchdowns. I mean, he's got a nose for the end zone. They used him in the rushing game. I think he had 20 rushing attempts. You know, just shows some of his versatility. I think even though he's on a terrible team, I think there's going to be enough targets to go around to where he could have a fantasy relevant rookie year for a receiver.
And the reason he's going to get so many looks is because Travis Benjamin moved away, and now he's on San Diego, and that immediately makes him a deep sleeper in our opinion. First of all, Phillip Rivers is always disrespected. He normally typically puts up good numbers, but Benjamin's was thought of as just a deep threat. He proved last year that's not the case. I think he's going to be in the mix quite a bit, and I think he's great value in the later rounds.
And the last one I got is Marvin Jones. He's with Detroit now. I mean, here's the thing. Stafford's going to throw for over 4,000 yards. Let's say Tate gets 1,200. Even be generous and say Ebron gets 800. 500 to the running backs. There's still a lot of yards to go around. I mean, who's going to get them? Marvin Jones is a legit wide receiver 2 out there. He's had good seasons with the Bengals. He had a double-digit touchdown season a couple years ago. Marvin Jones could be, I don't think it's crazy to be between 900 and 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. I mean, I think that's what you're looking at with him as far as an upside. I don't think it's crazy to say you can do that.
All right, now I got Torrey Smith on the 49ers. He has been on our bust. We had him in busts. Then we moved him deep sleepers, bust, deep sleepers. What's it going to be? He ended up being on deep sleepers because he does have that upside as the number 1 in the Chip Kelly offense. So you have to put him on the deep sleeper list. But obviously, he's so frustrating to own because he has a monster game and then a lot of terrible games. But he could be featured, could see a lot more targets than he normally does. Torrey Smith has to be locked in as the deep sleeper because of the Chip Kelly offense.
And offense can't be any worse than it was last year, that's for sure.
Hopefully.
All right, Draft Guide, get onto the website. If you want a sweet t-shirt, get on thirdndout.com. If you won your league, you're going to want to wear this to your draft day party. So go ahead and get one of those. We are doing something fun. We're on Instagram now, so follow us with that. But we're doing a photo contest. Hashtag FST photo contest. We want pictures of your trophies, your loser prizes, your draft days. If you do anything cool in your league, we want to see it. We're going to run it through August. We're going to pick our 5 favorite ones, give those people a t-shirt, and then we'll do some voting to see who the grand prize winner is. Grand prize to be determined, but it'll be something cool. We'll figure it out.
Sure will.
He doesn't like the idea.
No, I just hope you guys respond. That's all.
I have faith that the community will want to share the cool things that they do. I'm really excited about potential loser prizes. I know there's some crazy ones out there. Getting tattoos. It's a real thing.
I've heard.
People do it. I want to see it. See it. Hashtag FST photo contest.
Give me one.
Oh!
Try to do it without looking. I should start looking. That might increase the odds of me catching.
If you look at it.
One more time. Ah!